What's up? It's Phoenix Bars, the paradigm killer. Once again, once a motherfucking again. It's been a while. You know how I do. I gotta stay off my hermit. I gotta stay off my hierophant. So I can do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I've been wanting to go into the what up, Steve? Chillin'. I've been wanting to go into the Jezebel because I have a certain theory on it, and I think it's just time. I'm trying to hustle backwards in a way. I'm trying to, even though I don't have all of the staples out, I'm still trying to start just dropping what I think. Fuck it, might as well. And I want to start talking about this Jezebel. What up, Infinite? I want to start talking about this Jezebel because peace, Zap, peace. I want to start talking about this Jezebel aspect because I just want to say this. You know, I'm not against per se Christianity. I'm not against any system per se. But I am against the controllers that have come in, and I'm just gonna keep it 100 and fuck with the story. They have manipulated and fuck with the stories of shit. Now, most people's perception on the Jezebel aspect is that this is like Adam and Eve. This is like the old, some Jezebel is tied to the Adam and Eve story, which is like the oldest story, period. It's like old as shit, like supposed to be. But when you look through it through a historical context, you see that it's not even it's not even it's so late, and that's what pisses me off. That's what pisses me off at the end of the day. That's what kind of grinds my gears at the end of the day. They want to they backdate they're backdating all of these stories or mythologies. And I just saw that new Transformers. So we can have a conversation about the Transformers also if y'all want to do that, because they drop a lot in that joint. They drop a lot of real shit in that new Transformers movie. So if anybody has seen it and you want to throw something out or you want to talk about it, that shit is real, Steve. Man, that shit is real, man. They tell you a lot. One of my favorite parts about the Transformer movie, before I get into the Jezebel shit, is how they show you how the professor, who was a descendant of Merlin. What up, Lo? Who was a descendant of Merlin, she had been teaching all her students that mythology is bullshit. And then she comes to find out that not only is mythology not bullshit, she has to fucking rise to the fucking occasion and do some real shit when it's needed. And she's the only one who can do it. I think that was real powerful. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody who is like understands this mythology and sees it for more than just bullshit, we gotta kind of step it up and just be like, fuck it. Not worry about what anybody gotta say about, you know, the work that we do. And that's the thing. We can't let nobody stop us. Oh, see, the you talking about the lunar molecule too? Okay. See, I gotta peep that, but I know when the was that the second or third, the second and third, the second or I think it's the Dark Side of the Moon. I think that might be the third Transformers. They go into a whole bunch. What up, Anthem? They go hard, yeah. They go hard on that the moon landing and everything in that Dark Side of the Moon Transformers, man. They go in on that joint. I mean, for real. But let me try to stay on point, and let me just touch on this Jezebel story a little bit. See, when you're talking about when you're talking about Jezebel, damn, yeah, they do. They do. They should. They do show the lunar module getting crushed by Cybertron, like real shit. They do, yeah, and that's some shit to where it's like we gonna have to start thinking of how much shit is real and how much shit is fake. How much is this shit is just backstory or storyline, and how much is like real, actual fact and science. You know what I'm saying? That shit's real, Steve. That shit is real. I hear you, yeah, and you on point with that shit. I tell you, you on point with that shit. Cause they drop it, especially in the Transformers. They drop it in that shit. They drop it like it's common knowledge. That's what kills me. So to the people who want to fight us on the shit that we say, it's kind of crazy when the actual people who makes these producers, the hierarchy as a whole, they fucks with the shit that people fight us on. That's what I don't understand. It's like looking to the people you supposedly worship. They fucks with that shit. I remember I remember they said that in that joint, the name of Earth. I think you're right because okay. See how they say it in there. They say in that, or maybe that was like I was telling Low Freak earlier. If you look at the new Transformers and then you watch the new Power Rangers, it's like damn near the same fucking story, and that's what I don't understand. When these people in these movies and shit are coming out and they're saying the exact and they're remaking the same movie over and over again, it's just like the Bible says, if you shouldn't move off anything unless it got three witnesses. That's two off the top of my head, and if we look into it, we gonna find another two, three movies on top of it that say the exact same thing. So how is that? It got to get to a point where you be like, look, there might be some truth in this shit. But let's get into the Jezebel shit real quick. See, when you talk about Jezebel, you gotta talk about her people. Her people were the Sidonians. Sidonians. The Sidonians. Which they were around from, yeah, you gotta have a good quality of that joint because they did it poorly. They did the new Power Rangers kind of, well, you can tell they setting it up for the next movie, and that's where some of these movie makers fuck up Infinite. They worry too much about setting it up for the next movie when they need to be dropping. They just need to drop. But that kind of goes to my point of, when you're a real creator, you don't worry about setting up per se. You just drop shit because you create shit. You just do shit. But they using the ancient texts. I learned that from Star Wars. Star Wars is all Sumerian mythology, real shit. Sumerian mythology. When you look into that shit and tell me I'm a liar. But the Sidonians, they're basically where they kept their, so you gotta understand about history is we're talking about specific genealogy during a specific time. And these Sidonians were, and they mentioned the whole thing of, we gonna I'm about to get into the Transformers. Let me just drop this one point, and then we can get into the Transformers, and then I go back to the Jezebel. The Sidonians were from 3000 BC to 12,000 BC. That was the original Sidonians. That was the original Sidonians. That puts them damn near contemporary with the Egyptians. So I mean, we just gotta think of what this shit what this shit means. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta really think of what this shit means. But to go back to what Steve said about them mentioning the new world order, mentioning the new world order in that new in that new Transformers movie. The Transformers movie really tries to show you the sickness in the system, and it really actually does. If you, in the new Transformers movie, the fucking government turned on the fucking Transformers. They was out actually hunting the Transformers, man. They was out here hunting the Transformers. And the Transformers, and then they turn around and make a deal with the fucking Megatron. Come on, man. Come on. They make a deal with Megatron. And it also shows you how the hierarchy works. Because that what's that being named? Hey Lo, what's that being's name? The supposed ruler, the female ruler of Cybertron. She, if you peep game in that movie, Megatron had the same scar on his face, which is, I think, is a reference to the mark of Cain, or the mark of the beast, the mark of Cain. Had that same mark on his, exactly, man. They visually, the Transformers is next level shit. Michael Bay, we gonna have to start looking into him. We gonna have to start checking that nigga fucking pulse. I'm trying to tell you, because that motherfucker is tapped in, and it's beyond just having knowledge. He's tapped the fuck in. The way he be dropping and the visuals, man. But Megatron, okay, Mervana. I'm tripping. You did these, sometimes saying these words and names is crazy, but Mervana, she was doing the hierarchy does. She had right, and that dude sitting there ignorant as shit, yeah. There's fucking aliens. There's alien robots on this earth, and you're talking about science is good. You can believe in mythology. I'm gonna believe in science. You niggas he was crazy, and that just shows you how it's not only the hierarchy, because at the end of the day, the hierarchy fuck with the shit that I fuck with. That's what I'm trying to get people to see. The hierarchy are fucking occultists at the end of the day. Even, I wouldn't say Trump, because he's so low level. He's so low level at the end of the day. But they fuck with the shit that we fuck with. They fuck with the shit we fuck with. But like I was saying, Megatron had that same scar on his face that Optimus Prime had. And she had a fucking spell on that. She had a spell on these motherfuckers. But see, the difference is, see, that love, like I was saying in the earlier live stream, that love will break you up out of some shit. Quintessence, yes, you right. Quintessence, which is I mean, just you gotta know how they play on words, man. So we gotta look into the real word of quintessence, and what we have to. I have to go and break that shit down more, because if the Transformers is letting me know that it is more to that particular word than I might even thought, and I'm gonna have to be 100 with it. But yes, I think that I to answer your question, low, I kind of think that yes, they had the same scar. It's like this mark on the I want to say it's the right side of their face. So they had the same mark, man, and that's just how the hierarchy worked. And they also touch on this on the in the first GI Joe movie, when the dude that had the arm mask, the Destro dude, he had the arm mask. He, well, his ancestor, yes, the burgundy mark, and it's something about that shit. It's something about that mark on the face. You know what I'm saying? So much shit, man. So much shit, Steve. It was so much crazy shit in that movie that I'm gonna have to go. That's not a. I only seen it once. I'm gonna be honest. I seen it once, and I'm just dropping what I peeped off first glance. But that is definitely a movie we have to go back over many times, because it's so much shit. It's so packed. It's so packed with shit in that joint. It's so packed with occult knowledge in that shit. Straight up, yeah. But like, back to Low Freak, I think she did, Quintessence did with yes, I seen that shit. I seen this shit, man, and I don't know if y'all peeped it. If y'all seen if y'all seen that new Superman movie, that exact, when they were trying to take that jewel out of the earth, it was the same. It looked like that same circle with a big ass penis hanging out of it. It is the same type of machinery from the Superman. The Go watch the Man of Steel and see how when Zod, when he came down and he was trying to what was it called, geo, what's it called, geo, he was trying to change the atmosphere for Earth so it's suitable for him and his being, in his, like, him and his people. But it's the same machinery that they show in the Transformers movie. Like, we got to start piecing together the symbolism. You know what I'm saying? Man, it shows how, and that's what I want to learn. I want to learn how to hold a society together like they have been doing it. Sci-fi is child like where it's at the end of the day. They name it sci-fi. They name it sci-fi to kind of discredit it, or make certain people not look into it. But to me, science fiction is the truth. I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of shit in science fiction that you can, even that alien shit, they tell you how people used to give themselves up to the supposed alien gods and become birthing vessels for them. All that shit has some semblance of truth. At the end of the day, they tell you how When, see, that's what's so powerful about these religious systems. You set up a religious system, you can get somebody to do anything. People will do anything if they think that they're serving their God. But there's many gods, man. At the end of the day, let's just be 100. There's many. You know what I'm saying? See, people want to think monotheism is doesn't it shouldn't even be an option for any intelligent person, because anybody who's intelligent realizes that we control our perception makes our reality. So off that alone, you can have many gods. There's many gods, and I'm not off for no. I'm really just not off no giving your power up to anybody else shit. But at the end of the day, these are all archetypes that we can tap into. At the end of the day, you know. But I think I still ain't answered the question Low Freak asked me. I think she was doing what the hierarchy always does. They play both sides. You have enough money, you can play both sides, and that's what they do. She was hedging her bets. At the end of the day, she had Prime, which we know was her main vessel, which she pretty much knew he could get it done, which he did kind of sort of get the job done, even though Megatron swooped in at the very end and snatched that shit from him and whatever. But she was just hedging her bets at the end of the day. If you control both sides, no matter who wins that particular war, you're going to win, even though she lost. Well, I'm glad her ass lost, because that was some evil shit. She wanted to fucking destroy anybody who is willing to totally destroy something to gain anything. You might want to quote. That's my problem with the Bible. All these people, they're willing. It's convert or die. They're willing to destroy somebody else's beliefs, somebody else's bloodline, to perpetuate their own, and that's not holy. At the end of the day, that's just not holy. But let's get in. Let me get back into this Jezebel shit. Like I said, when you talking about Jezebel, you talking about the Sidonians, which I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it. Alexander the Greek, the Sidonians were one of the people he had to subjugate on his way to supremacy. It started from, he had to conquer Tyre, he had to conquer Sidonia, and I wish I had my notes too, because he conquered a lot of people, and will people understand what comes with conquering people? When you conquer a people, you get everything. You get their science, you get access to their genetic bloodline, all of that. That's what war is really about. That's what war is really about at the end of the day. And I want people to see that shit. That it's not about no oil. It's not really even about money. It's about taking over. It's about knowledge, first of all, and it's about getting into that genetic bloodline. You know what I'm saying? That's the real shit. This is a couple things that we know. Power. Right, Infinite. It's about power. Total power. You cleared up my point very, very nicely. It's about total power. Anything, and see, people, we're the only ones that think money means anything, because we need it, because the society and the system has put us in a position where we need money. But to the people who have money, it's power. It's power at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's known about the Sidonians and the Jezebel story. What is spoken of in historical context. That, the Sidonians, They pretty much had their original makeup from 3000 to 12,000 BC. It is the modern Lebanon area. It is it is connected to a Phoenician city, a very wealthy Phoenician city. And this comes from the kings of Israel and Judah during the Iron Age. Now, wish I had my notes so I could tell you exactly when the Iron Age is, but the Iron Age is late. All this, all the if if historians have an age for it, it's not original shit. It is stolen from somebody else. Straight like that. Straight like that. If it has a age associated with it in a historical context, then you're basically dealing with stolen or usurped information. So let's get back to let me try to stay on point because you know how I go. Now they also have the Sidonians, the Sidonians in the Bronze Age, which is from 12,000 BC to 586 BC. Okay, I gotta check them out. I gotta check them out. Straight like that. Where the fuck am I pen? I gotta check them out. Cause he just dropped that shit. I gotta check them out because I'm pissed off with Facebook because I like Facebook because it's a nice way to get in touch with people who are into the same shit that you're into, but they are like fucking they censor Mark Zuckerberg is a fuck nigga, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because for you to build your own shit and have to worry about getting censored, have to jump through all the hoops to start your shit, and then you immediately sell out once you get money, I can't fuck with you. That's my problem with the conscious community. You have to jump through so many hoops to get this knowledge, but then as soon as you get any traction or any money, you fucking sell out. FBI book. Period. 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 So I'm gonna look into that, Steve. Most definitely, I'm gonna look into that shit. Let me drop this hit because see the Bible tells you just from my perception on the Bible, I'm not saying this is what it is. Peace, Cosmic Queen. Yeah, I gotta go into looking into that. But the Sidonians, the Bible tells you that the Canaanites were like evil beasts. But at the end of the day, the Bible would be nothing without the Canaanites. And now let me just say this: the Sidonians, they were Canaanites, southern Levant, from the southern Levant. I mean, the Sidonians in their area, they were Canaanites. In the southern Levant, they were Canaanites originally. Originally. So how does the Bible go from my problem with the Bible is because they lie and they turn everybody who they have stolen information from into a beast or a enemy or an evil fuck. and they are the real evil ones. Those Greek and those Roman fucks who engineered the Bible are the evil fucks. I was talking to Low Freak earlier, and I was telling you, see, he mentioned King Herod, and a lot of people don't understand about King Herod is that we we need to look into the Flavian society. The Flavians were created out of the house of Herod. See, that's what I got from the Septuagint. When everybody else is running around trying to say the Septuagint is a real Bible, which is not. I'm gonna say it again. It is the first manipulation of the ancient way of thinking. The first is the Septuagint, but it's just crazy that people don't. It's just crazy that people believe that book. That's my hang up. Look into the stuff. They don't even look into they don't these people don't even know what I know about the church fathers, like a Urias, who was one of the most despicable fucks on this face of this flat plane. Urias, piece of shit. Yeah, we need to find a way. Like I was saying the other day, we need to find a way to multi-prong attack these fucks, because they've been attacking us from every which way they can. They overtax us. They fuck with our food. They create systems that the average person can't even. I'm just to the point where how are people. See, they created a system where people have to sell out to make it. So if you have any moral standing, or if you have any backbone, you're going to end up cannon fodder if you if you don't sell out. If you're not willing to sell out, it's really going to be extremely hard for you to dig yourself up out of the fucking trenches at the end of the day. And we have to hit them every way we can so we can break down this system. I feel you, Steve. I feel you, Steve. But like we need to. Exactly. But people don't even want to speak up. And not only do people don't want to speak up, people don't even want to fucking listen. Everybody thinks that the way their tradition is the best, and that's asinine to me. It's mathematically impossible for you just to be born and read. You got to read, speak. See, the thing is, people are not reading, Cosmic. People are not reading, because if people read, they wouldn't have a problem speaking up. But people want to. Every this information age got us fucked up in a way. It's like it's a double edged sword. It's the best and the worst of shit for us, because it's people like us. We can get in study hall and chop it up, which is the best shit for us. But at the same time, the people who don't want to put the work in, they can just watch a live stream and regurgitate shit, like I was talking about in the karma and perjury video. People just regurgitate. Why study? Why read 100 books when you can watch one person's live stream and regurgitate what they say? And that's what's wrong with people. They don't want to put no work in. And I'm just gonna keep it 100. You ain't gonna get nowhere. You ain't about shit. You ain't gonna get nowhere. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing unless you putting some work into it. You know what I'm saying? All of this information age shit is kind of a double-edged sword to us. You know, they really they got what they're getting what they want. We pay for through us paying for our internet usage. We pay for the government and many government agencies to have free Wi-Fi. And that's what people don't see. You think these people are actually paying for this Wi-Fi? You think all these Fortune 500 companies are actually paying? And if they are paying, it's a fucking fraction. I guarantee you that, and this is complete insanity to me. I guarantee you that we pay more for our internet connection than these Fortune 500 companies. And they power whole buildings, whole infrastructures. But they're paying 5% of what we pay. Real shit. We need to realize the power in upping your tax bracket. And that's one thing that I have learned from the Moors. Even though I don't fuck with the Moors, I don't fuck with the Moors. I'm gonna be 100. I'm gonna keep it 100. Now there are some good modern day Moors. Um, Alim Bey, one of them, off the top of my head, where he drops the science. He drops the science, and you can tell he's pure hearted when he drops the science. But I don't fuck with the Moors because they are they they sold their knowledge to the highest bidder. At the end of the day, that's what they did. They sold their knowledge to the highest bidder, and they got wealthy off of it. And I guarantee you that those ancient Moors, they have nothing to do with these modern per se Moors. They have graduated to the hierarchy. They are the hierarchy at the end of the day. They are probably the only ones that the hierarchy respects at currently, because they completely see, like I was talking about the Soviet Union, how if you are snitch, I'm not going to let you in my shit. Thank you. That you brought up a perfect point. And this is something that everybody in this chat has to be conscious of. The power that we our genetics wields can be addictive. It can get you drunk. It can make you start to not care about other people. And I'm gonna be 100. To me, power ain't shit if you ain't got love, or if you don't got somebody that love you, or if you don't have a concept of community. Power is nothing without community. That's what the hierarchy understands, that it's hard for some of us to understand. See, we see them in their ivory towers, in their suits, hopping out their jet planes, and we think that that's what we want. But if you even look at them, they have the people that they're connected to, and in hierarchy sense nowadays, pretty much they have the people they're controlled by. But these people will be nothing without the people they're controlled by. There will be nothing without the people that they are controlled by. And for people like us, exactly, it's either love or fear. Exactly. It's either love or fear. So you either going to operate from fear. Oh, I'm fearing. I can't operate from fear. Exactly. And Steve, you brought up a excellent point. If you study the American Revolution and what they were supposedly fighting against, this system has become this. I don't see no difference between this system we're living in and the British Crown. Back then, at the end of the day, it's crazy. We're being taxed into oblivion. Federal taxes are not even supposed to exist. That's why a lot of our ancestors put on the Union uniform. So their ancestors were not taxed into oblivion. Were not taxed into oblivion. But somehow we're still being tagged into oblivion. And that's why I was saying the other day, we got to study these systems and how they really work. Because at the end of the day, this is how they keep on taking over. This is how they keep on taking over. They keep on taking over because exactly, Steve. Exactly. So what happened in the early 1900s to make shit go back shit? What happened? What was going on around that time? Shit, when was World War II, if anybody know? When was World War II? I know that was like well, I want to say the 1940s, 1930s. Yes, that's an excellent one. I got a new one that my homie put me on. I got a new one my homie put me on. I wish I could remember the name of it. I got a new one my homie put me on. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's all talking about how the tax the taxes are bullshit. No matter how much you love your country, no matter how much you want to support, that shit is bullshit. Okay, okay, okay. With the IRS. And I think that's crazy that in 1913, the Federal Reserve, which is not how do how do we have a Federal Reserve? And it's not how I mean it's completely fraudulent. This shit is completely fraudulent at the end of the day. How do we have a basically a foreign entity inf- infiltrating our affairs? It's just the British Crown. It ain't nothing but the private corporation. It is. It's a private corporation. They don't have to. It's not federal, and but see, they know how to play these word games. Taxation is theft. Bottom line, it really is. Especially when now, I'm gonna be honest. If you look at how our republic, we supposed to have a republic, and if you look at how our republic was set up, we there probably should be. And if you look at it, the state taxation is nowhere near the federal. Peep game. Peep game of how that shit is. So all the federal taxation is complete rip off. Now, I have no problem, you know, paying my way. I have no problem. If I live in a state, I pay taxes to that state. I'm cool with that. I think that makes fucking sense. But the Federal Reserve is a foreign entity that has been put on us to keep us poor. The Federal Reserve to me is the re is the reintroduction of the futile system. And if anyone wants to look into the futile system and see how shit was, and see if you want to really truly go back to that, I'm gonna save you the work of researching. I'm gonna save you the Google search on that shit. We don't want to go back to a futile system, the serfdom. We don't want to go back to working the land, slavery. We don't want to go back to slavery. But this tax shit is real. This tax shit is real at the end of the day. And just imagine if in the federal, what was it like, maybe 5 years ago, the right, right. But then the states want to. Let me just say it. The states want to Jew us up and act like they're not even getting enough money. They closing all these school programs. All the shit that they doing. We gotta become more financial. We have to understand commerce, and we have to understand this financial system, because that's how they're pulling the wool over our heads. You know what I'm saying? They money. Do you know how much what we can do with $1 million? And state. I wonder how much the state government, the state, is pulling in tax revenue. But we can't get our streets fixed. You have all of the programs, all of the books, all of the resources getting snatched out of school because they're complaining about money. I don't get that. What are y'all doing? And this is what pisses me off. Why aren't enough people asking the government, state and federal, what are you doing with the fucking money? What are they doing with the money? And I answer that shit too for y'all. The money is going into, excuse me, anybody who fucks with Bill Gates, I fucking can't stand Bill Gates. He is the fucking Bill and Melinda Gates are two of the most despicable human beings on this earth. They're into eugenics. They try to kill off. And see, for a long time, we have, RBG people have looked at it as they're killing black people. But they're killing, eugenics is deeper than just killing off the black race. I'ma say it. I don't care who don't like it. I'ma say it. Eugenics is genetics. See, they understand at a very high level what genetics are. Even though they won't tell you, even though you're gonna have to dig mighty hard to find it in the book. They know what genetics really are and what they really dictate. So, to them, it's deeper than just killing off, per se, the black race. Yeah, I believe we were the original people. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, I do. But at the same time, the more I research, the more it leads me to think that this race shit is really was really engineered in the 1800s. That's what I was getting to in my video, where I'm like, in the video, the faces of racism. Samuel Morton, he was the main proponent of this racism, scientific racism. So eugenics is deeper than just a race thing. They understand what genetics truly is, and there's people of many races who maybe in some way were original, or maybe right, right, Queen, you right. They know who they want to get away. They know who. You right, Queen. You right, Queen. That they know who they trying to get rid of, and they trying to get anybody who is genetically, anybody who has the genetics of, that are not oppressive. That's who they want to get rid of. And Steve, you made a crucial point to where I don't know if they're gonna let the dollar per se collapse, because they playing so many. They got so many, and then like I was saying, these motherfuckers is real life making gold. These motherfuckers can make gold. I'm sorry, whoever don't want to believe it, don't believe it. But these motherfuckers can make gold. So gold, they can make enough gold to prop up the system. That's what has been done. Because the way I look at it, this system should have been had crashed by now. But if you look at even the Sumerians in the early Jewish, we can get into what that early Jewish shit later. But the early Jew, they had a tradition called the breaking of the tablets. When it was, I want to say it was either 25 years or 50 years. After 25 or 50 years, all of the debt in the kingdom was wiped out. So if you have been in debt for 25 years and that 50-year period is coming up, you would not be in debt no more. What I don't understand is, why do the ancients have all of these traditions and ways of handling business that we don't carry on? You know, you have people out here that are paying it, trying to pay off their father's debt. We're not even talking about their own. Now, I would think that after 25 to 50 years of being indebted to the government or somebody, they would have, inflation alone dictates that you have already gotten your principal. The longer it takes you to pay something back, the more you're paying on it. So if I owe you $20,000 and I've been paying you back $25,000 for 25 years, you got your 20,000, motherfucker. Motherfuckers is greedy, and motherfuckers is using the system to oppress people. Period. I I hear what you're saying, Steve. Yes and no. See, at the root, I mean not at the root, but at the root, all currency is backed off of services and goods. Period. That's why America is falling behind all of the. We have so-called third world countries that are shitting on us because we have outsourced all of our. We outsource everything. It's not, is it Fair Trade Act? I think it's like the Fair Trade Act. Um, how's that? Mars is so. Yeah, I'm just going to drop this, and I'm gonna keep it fly. I'm gonna keep it fly. To me, and then I'm gonna get back to you, Steve. Queen. To me, Mars is so important to the hierarchy is because they know what they know something very powerful about Mars, and it's that we some aspect of humanity probably came from Mars. It goes back into that cosmic war theory that I have. Mars got fucked up through an interplanetary cosmic war. That's my suspicion. So, to a certain extent, they know it's about time for Mars. Mars can be repopulated. I think it's beyond nuclear, Queen. See, we're thinking in modern concepts, but plasma, plasma. I think it was more of a plasma event. And when you look into the pyramids and you look into all this mythology, they speak more to plasma. See, nuclear is the baby shit. Like I was saying about the Greeks. The Greeks, the Greeks took how ancient people taught their children, and they took over the world with how the ancients used to teach their children. That is deep to me. The mythology was the way to teach your children without overloading them. Because me and Lofreak was talking about this earlier. You know, you can get into some of this knowledge, and that shit fuck around and make your bad shit crazy if you ain't strong enough to deal with the shit. If you think that your way is the only way, that's just probably gonna make you fucking snap. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong, Queen. It could have been nuclear, but I think nuclear was like the. Put it this way: if there was a cosmic war in ancient times, the nuclear bomb would have been the warning shot. The nuclear bomb would have been the warning shot. And that's what I want us to start thinking of. That all of the shit that we think is the high level shit, it's really beginner shit. This is the beginner shit. We start looking into that plasma, and it's no different than a lot of shit we talk about. It's tapping in. See, nuclear is manipulating man-made elements in a way. The plasma is tapping into the nature. Lightning strikes are plasma. So if I can make a plasma gun, see that's what would they be telling us on this Mars attack shit. All this alien shit. When they tell you they have plasma ray guns and shit, that is not only a higher level of technology, it is also on top of it. It's like actually tapping into nature to create a weapon. It's actually tapping into nature to make a weapon. Now let me go back to Steve's point. I don't even think we're based off of oil now. I think this whole system is a fucking it's just a fucking lie. It's a lie propped up on a lie. It's like I don't. I think we're purely. I think our economy is based off of pure ignorance. At the end of the day, like I say all the time, I think so. Therefore, I am. Plasma, plasma could fucking burn through a fucking elephant in an instant. See, that's not nuclear. Nuclear, even if you get exposed to nuclear, it takes time. Your hair falls out, your teeth fall out. It takes time for nuclear power to even fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Even a nuclear bomb, they could drop a nuclear bomb and people may most people may die, but a lot of people it's even a nuclear bomb being dropped is not the end all be all at the end of the day. If you have the knowledge, or if you have the intelligence, you can it's our bodies are awesome. Our bodies are really fucking awesome, to where if we ingest certain natural things, it, there is nothing that's where the stories of immortalism comes into me. Exactly. Faith based currency. Exactly. Alright, I'm gonna check that out. Mark Mahoney video. How the Fed works. The Fed prints money. Exactly. But I'm saying they print money off of what the society allows them to. We can tell. We can just look about the banker buyouts. We can look back to the banker buyouts. Supposedly, our system was supposed to crash 2 years from then. It's been about 6 years, seven. It's been like 6 years since that shit happened. 4 to 6 years. It's been 4 to 6 years since the Baker buyouts, and they were threatening a collapse then. And this is why I say I I would I in a way want the system to collapse, because there's a lot of people who are not going to get up off their ass until the fucking Armageddon comes. And I think that's fucking insane at the end of the day. Why should you have to why would you wait until things got so horrible, things got so bad before you want to make action? And I wish I remembered that video my man just sent me. I posted it on Facebook. That video that my man just sent me, even one of they interview actual IRS agents, and they are just snitching all on themselves about how they know the system is fucking corrupt. You know, and like I always say, you just gotta get to the point where, are you willing to basically sell your children or your bloodline into slavery just to make things a little bit easier for yourself? It is a Ponzi scheme. It's the biggest. It's the biggest. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme at the end of the day. Bernie Madoff. That's why I don't even think this motherfucker locked up. We gonna have to be 100. Do you think these people who are ripping off all the embezzlement schemes and all this shit, do you think they are even serving time at the end of the day? Where is the interview with Bernie Madoff in prison? And even if it was an interview with him in prison, they would ship his ass into a prison or they would build a set. See, people gotta understand how easy it is. Look into the War of the Worlds. Um, Orson Welles. Comfortably. They living nice. He got all that money and everything. He got hundreds of millions of dollars. Exactly. Alex Russo. I've heard that. I've heard that. I've heard that. Alex Russo. I've heard that. They have all the money. And this is some real shit. Like somebody had told me this shit. Do you know the payoff? Like what these people have to pay in restitution after ripping off $100 million? They rip off $100 million. They can pay $1 million or $10 million and do their little time and go on by their business like it's nothing. The system allows these people to rip us off. That shit is crazy to me. So at the end of the day, why wouldn't you do some embezzlement? Why wouldn't you? Because at the end of the day, there is no penalty for these people. That's why I want us to see. There is no penalty for stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from people. There is none. Because if I rip off $100 million from somebody, I pay $10 million in restitution, and I hide the rest of my money. Even if I do 5 years, 5 years to make $100 million. Who wouldn't? But you know the sad thing, Queen? The sad thing, Queen, is to a certain extent, the TV pretty much is telling the fucking truth, and people still think it's okay because it's the government. Or because the government says because the government says it's okay, people tend to think it's okay. Just because they rather not grow a garden. And that's what you gotta really just look at. Some of these people, like I was saying in one of my first live streams, some of these people were created. Some of these people were created. And it's not a race thing. Man, I'm looking to move. I'm looking to move to anywhere that has a beach and I can be left the fuck alone at the end of the day. That's where I'm looking to move. You know what I'm saying? Mexico got their fucking issues too. Mexico is so corrupt. They're so close. They're too. See. We gotta think of. We gotta start thinking. We gotta start thinking of what is the absolute best situation for us moving forward. Now, Mexico's cool and all, but I'm more of like shit. We get enough like-minded people in one of these further out areas, we could really take over. We could really take over. We could have fucking uh um We can have official jobs out that motherfucker. See, because the thing that America, what holds America back is, I could I can write a couple books and move to Switzerland and they'll give me citizenship. I can do the things that I'm planning to do and move a lot of places and they will give me full citizenship. They'll give me dual citizenship if I want it. But I'm to the point where if I got fully on my feet the way I wanted to, would I want to come back to America? I really wouldn't at the end of the day, and that's what's sad. Because America is supposed just because they tell you it's the land, the home of the free, and the land where the home was it the home of the brave and the land of the free, or whatever the fuck they say it is. Honduras, Honduras, Honduras is nice. Honduras is nice. Uh, to be honest, if we could get enough funds, I might even go somewhere like Brazil or something because it's so underdeveloped. Costa Rica, Costa Rica's nice. I want to go somewhere underdeveloped with that bag. I'm gonna tell you. I just tell you. I just let the cat out of the bag. The land of the free and the home of the slaves. You nailed that shit, Steve. You nailed it. Because that's really what it is at the end of the day. The public doesn't even look into what the American Revolution was supposed to be over. You know what I'm saying? We're so caught up on race that we're thinking, oh, it was the South was for slavery, and no, no, no. I mean that's the Civil War, but no, no, exactly, and that's what they want. They want. See, I live near D.C. So this taxation without representation shit ain't nothing new to me. And what people don't see is that they are trying to DC was the model. DC was the model for the whole United States. Everyone wasn't slaves. Everyone wasn't slaves. And I'll just say this. Excuse me, Lo, if I'm speaking out of turn. I'll just say something me and Lo Freak was talking about earlier. Who wants to prove who believes truly that slavery was how we were taught slavery was? I almost pretty sure that not too many people are going to want to even take that debate or take that argument, because at the end of the day, the there's a Holocaust museum, right? Why isn't there no slavery museum? Exactly, Steve. The 13th Amendment made everyone slaves. They made everyone slaves. And I've been trying to tell people of many races this for years before I even see. Now I'm woke. I'm up. I'm up. My eyes are open. I don't hardly sleep. But even when I was waking up, I was trying to tell people that, hey, what, you don't think you a slave? You don't think you a slave just like me? You want to walk around thinking you better? You gonna call me like, this is my thing to people who call black people a nigga in a derogatory sense. You more of a nigga than I am at the end of the day, because I know what it is, and I do everything I can to get up out of it. But some of these other races who think that they are who think that they are getting away with something. Did you get the memo that your food is being poisoned? Did you get the memo that that all of the meat you eat is being tampered with and traumatized before you get it? Did you get the memo that when you go to these fast food places, the people there get paid shit and they hate their fucking existence, so they're working around your food with negative energy and then you eat their negative energy? Did you get that memo while you eating all that fat? And look, I'm the type of person, I'll be like, look, if you don't have the financial means, you can't eat a certain way. But at the same time, and they say this since this is scientific, that when if you thinking new ideas, the synapses in your brain start to fire, and synapses in your brain, synapses in my brain or in anybody in this chat's brain are fire more synapses are firing in our brains than these dumb fucks. Point blank and fucking period. And that's a scientific fact. That's what the scientific community says. Even thinking new thoughts, and the deeper the thought, the more brain power you derive from it. Exactly. The United States is the fucking Titanic. Damn. But actually, Steve, it's kind of reversed though. Your analogy is perfect, other than, I mean, your analogy is exactly right. But what I'm saying to the poor people in the bottom of the ship, when you see that water coming in, instead of staying in your place, you might want to get a little rowdy. And once you see that water pouring in, you might want to go up top and get it cracking. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the people in the bottom of the ship, they know the ship is sinking before the people on top. So if you know the ship is sinking, do what you got to do to live. That's what I want people to do at the end of the day. I want people to do what they got to do to survive. Do what they got to do to survive. Not live comfortably under the system, because the system has sold you out. This system has sold us out. And it's really just sad to me that people don't see it. Exactly, Queen. That's why the Matrix is they made hundreds of millions of dollars off the Matrix, because that is the realest shit. That's probably the realest, especially the first two. They see they started fucking tripping at the end of that shit. But the first two Matrix was that fucking shit. They tell you all of this shit. And I hate to say it, but the Matrix and the Terminator shit was yes. Yes. Yes, Steve. But the Matrix and the Terminator shit was stolen from a black woman who had who had books talking about all that shit. And one of these producers in Hollywood read her book and then gave you the Terminator and then gave you Matrix. But in the point you made, Steve, just speaks to the sickness of the psychology of the hierarchy. Nothing wrong with being a tranny per se. It ain't for me, but per se is nothing wrong with being it. But you just gotta question the psychology of somebody who supposedly has everything and does some shit like that the second the the second movie in. I I think he was down with this shit. I think he was down with the shit, Steve. If I'm understanding your question, I think it. Were you talking about the books being ripped off, or you talking about the director? Because I think certain people are just down with shit, and once they get the money and freedom to do, that's one thing I believe. I believe right, right. I think I think he was down with that shit. No, you know what I'm saying? I think that was just him. And like I said, if nobody, people have a hard time hearing the truth from us, but just because I don't agree with something don't mean I'm dogging it. Just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean I'm dogging it. So, if that's how he truly sees himself, more power to you. More power to you. If that's how you truly see yourself, do what you gotta do to be comfortable in your own skin. But at the end of the day, I have to just question the motivations on him being as open as he was with it. Because, like I said, these people are very good at controlling without being seen. So he could have turned himself straight into a woman and changed his name and just been another director, and nobody would have thought the wiser. You know, I think that more speaks into them trying to use. See, let me just say this: I have nothing against people of different persuasions, but I do have something against how the hierarchy is using the transsexual, lesbian, gay agenda to further their pedophilia. I do have a problem with that. See, because which we have to understand is, in a way, if they get the transgender, especially transgender. See, I separate transgender from even homosexuality in a way, because you know who am I to say that somebody wasn't born? I study reincarnation, so some of these people might have reincarnated into a man's body, but they really a woman. Stranger things have happened. Okay, but the transgender way of thinking is a little. I just don't understand. It's a little crazy to me, because it's like it really it just speaks to the sickness of the hierarchy. It really is telling you. It's really kind of making it seem like Pick what you want. Just pick what you want. If you had the money to pick what you want to be, turn yourself into that. And to a certain level, hey, you it's your money. You spend it on what you want to spend it on. But like I was saying, going back to my original point, I have a problem with them trying to push certain agendas. Huh. Huh. Okay. That was an excellent point. Gender fuel leading to age fuel. Exactly. Exactly. If they can get this gender, if they can make it to where gender is not an issue, well, your preference is not an issue with gender, then the next step only is, oh well, these people. And like I said, watch Da Vinci's Demons, and they show you how the hierarchy stayed with a little boy in a bed. That ain't cool with me. That ain't cool with me, cause I'm be I'll be one of the first to say, you fuck with my little boy, you fuck with my little girl. I don't give a fuck how high on that pyramid you are. I'ma get at you. I'ma get at you. I'ma get at you. I don't care what the system lets you get away with. I don't care if you get you might want to get locked up or relocated if you fuck with mine or anybody I love at the end of the day. Or it really the sad thing is I'm about to keep it totally 100. It don't even matter if I know them. It really don't matter. If I'm in a position to touch you and you touch kids, I'ma fuck around and touch you. Period. And then not in the way you want me to. And see, that's what we have to start doing. We have to start touching these people not in the way they want us to. Period. I don't get down with that. That's why that's my problem with the Greek shit. That's my only problem. That really, to tentatively, that's my only exactly, queen. Children should be protected. Just like I say, we should protect the weak. We should protect the children. Just because a child is not necessarily weak, how I would classify weak, doesn't mean we should let them. We just let the fuck these wolves fucking tear at children at all. And it really kind of gets to me. That's one of the things that me and Low Freak kind of really vibed off. We do not fuck with no pedophilia. I will fuck around, take your head clean off so you don't reincarnate. Period. You're done. You're done, son. You fuck with children. I don't fuck with that shit. And it's sad that society allows it. Allows it. Because I'm trying to tell you, a sex offender couldn't be in my community, especially when I get to a point. Nah, I gotta see that. Steve. But they've been doing that. All that shit. They've been doing this shit for a long time. All this pedophilia is tied to the human trafficking, all that shit. All that shit. That's what they was touching on. That's what they was touching on taking. His daughter was a barely legal virgin. A barely legal virgin. And then that's what this sex trafficking shit really. See, that's the story that they don't even tell. Even though they tell you enough sick shit about it, that's the story that they don't tell. How many 13-year-olds, how many 13 and under are taken and trafficked? They don't tell you that shit. And that's my problem. They don't tell you that shit. And I just don't understand how that shit's okay. I don't understand how a child molester or a pedophile can get 2 months of community fucking service and come back to the same community and not get his fucking head chopped off and his house burnt down. I'm sorry. People can and at this point I really just don't give a fuck when it comes to that pedophilia shit. I don't give a fuck. It's I wish the dysfunction was a proper enough word, Queen. Cause this shit is mental illness. Mental. Damn. That shit is crazy, Steve. They vividly they speak on that shit in this is Nicolas Cage movie called 8mm. Talk about all the snuff films and shit. You know, that shit is real. That shit is real, and that shit is real fucking sick and fucked up. Yeah, yeah, but yes, you're right, Queen. You're 100% right, Queen. These children come from dysfunctional families, but what I'm saying is that the system creates the dysfunctional families to take the children from them. You know, and that's crazy. That's what we have to fight. And these same dysfunctional people, they'll fight somebody like me because I say something they don't like about the Bible, but they won't fight the system that's fucking taking their children. The cycle definitely needs to be broken. When the system pimps them out, the system pimps them all the way out. Because, like I said, you know, as a man, as a real human being, you have to question the psychology of somebody who would serve up their children for comfort. And that's what I see with this social service system. I was speaking to somebody who was a teacher about this because I was thinking about going into teaching because I like to teach. I like to teach. It's my shit. I'm good at it. But will I want to deal with the shit that's going to come with me being a teacher? Am I going to want to have to deal with not only the 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 female students that want to get a fucking crush on me and possibly lie on me? Am I going to want to deal with that? Am I going to want to deal with number two, the moms of these lovesick teenagers who also are infatuated with me? No. Or am I going to want to deal with the politics of having all of these so called tenured professors and teachers who get their panties in a bunch because I can reach the students better and faster than they can? And that is a lot of the things that's going on in the school system to which keeps good proper teachers out and keeps these fuck ass oppressors in. So that's a daily battle that I go through. Do I want to go through what I have to go through to become a teacher, just to have to fight tooth and nail? I'd rather just do what I'm doing now. I'd rather just do what I'm doing now and teach who want to be taught than to jump through all the hoops and have to deal with the politics and bullshit of being a teacher. And it's to the point where I think we just need Exactly. Exactly. Because and Steve brought up the perfect point. Steve brought up the perfect point. I'm not going to teach no Columbus shit. I'm not going to teach no shit that I know is false. Because that is perjury. That is perjury. What these people are doing to our children is literally perjury. They're teaching falsehoods to get a check. They're no better than any juror that gets bought off, any witness that raises their hand on the stand and says I'm telling the truth and then lies. They're no different to me. Because if you in school and you're teaching Columbus discovered America, you're not only ignorant and stupid as fuck, you're evil to me. So when it come down to it, it wouldn't serve my best interest to become a teacher. It wouldn't. Cause you think I'm going to teach some bullshit. My students will be sharper than a fucking Ginsu knife, fucking with me, and they probably wouldn't even let me get through a year of teaching without getting fired, or without this, or without this, or without an allegation from one of these. And not to mention these administrators and shit. Half of the time, who knows if they're even paying these girls to lie? Oh, you want an A in my class? A week. Exactly, Steve. I probably wouldn't make it a week because in my first week I'll be going hard. I would, and see, I'm just different. I'm just different. Even if I was a teacher, I would still have my side grind. So if you was in my class, I'll probably buy all my classes certain books. Certain books. Hey, this is the book we're going to. This is what we're going to be reading this semester, motherfucker. This book. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Those books that come from Texas University, which is like the nothing wrong about not speaking against Texas, but Texas University, Texas Instrument, like the calculators, they set the educational bar for America. Pretty much. Pretty much. You think I'm gonna teach out of that horse shit? Hmm? That's why I had such a fucking problem in school. Cause I'm reading through those books and I'm like, where's the real knowledge at? Where is the knowledge? There's no knowledge in the school systems today. There's no knowledge. Thank you, Amp. Yeah, but they do though. Texas University, and one cool thing about Texas University, they house the original Crowley scripts. Okay? The Book of the Law, in particular, I know, is housed at the University of Texas, and that's where all the textbooks come from. Exactly, exactly, which ties to Crawley and what Levy, who's the person who drew that late, very late Baphomet picture. All this shit is late, and that's my main thing that I want to push through people's heads. The way we're living today, damn, and that's real. That's real. That's infinite. That's a testament to you that because I know people in my life who were raised Catholic, and no matter what age they are, they still haven't broke out of the spell. So that's just a testament to your genetics. Shout out to your genetics, Infinite, for real. That you went through that, because that shit is some real brainwash shit. You know, you could speak to that shit more than I could. real shit, you know, like they 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 did a lot. They do a lot in they do a lot. They do a lot in the Catholic faith to 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 fuck with your mind at the end of the day. And some people, to see the thing, this is my problem I have with the Catholic faith, and this is pretty much my main problem. They have exactly, them nuns is vicious. Those nuns are vicious. Those nuns, I compare some of these nuns to Nazis. Real shit. These nuns are Nazis, and they both have an N. They both start with N. That's all I'm saying. But some people, the problem I have with the Catholic faith is they have a supreme way of brainwashing you into thinking that you're doing what is right and holy. No bullshit. Those nuns, man. Those nuns. Fear based. Exactly, Queen. Those nuns are real. That shit is real. You can just look into the Blues Brothers, the Blues Brothers, and they went to Catholic school, and they ain't fuck, even though, and it shows you. All right, perfect example in the Blues Brothers. They went to Catholic school, and they awoken enough to totally buck against the system, but they still go back and help those nuns that abused them. That is battered wife syndrome to the fullest, and that's my problem with the Catholic faith per se. They brainwash people into thinking that the rest of their life they just go on tangents thinking that they're doing right, which it completely skews the moral compass to me, you know, to me. Exactly, Queen. Exactly. They exactly, Infinite. The Catholic Church does voodoo. And I can't even say they do voodoo, because voodoo ain't good or bad at the end of the day. But the Catholic Church does do sorcery. Period. Period. Catholic Church is off some high sorcery shit. Yes, a low grade, a low grade voodoo, a low grade voodoo, but it works wonders on the psychology, and I'm just like, wow, how are these people, going on in their lives? And then this is another thing why I have about a problem I had with priesthood is when I thought about going into certain faiths. Because like I said, I'll consider becoming a priest, but we should question any religion or any system that will want a bunch of men who don't have sex. We should question that. To be honest, we really should. They look at sex as a sin. All that shit is bullshit. Because, yes, the wine is is cannibalism. But when you study the Catholic Church, you're gonna come across the Franks. And the Franks had a tradition of carrying their dead back to their homelands. And long story short, by the time they made it back to their homelands, there were nothing but bones left. These people actually salted the meat so it could be ingested better. The Franks. And look it up if I think I'm lying. The Franks, which is what was it, not Constantine, what's his fucking name? No, it was Constantine. Was it Constantine? No, it wasn't Constantine. Well, if you Google the King of the Franks, this person's name will pop up. Where is it? I don't got. I got so many notepads. I ain't even gonna try to look for it at this point. But that's true. That's a true story about the Franks. And these Franks are tied all up into. Appreciate it, Steve. I got all the way off topic with the Jezebel shit, but we gonna go. You know how we go. You know how we go. We just go in. Y'all feel, y'all control the conversation. That's why I like this shit, because this is what's needed. Why am I going to get up here and just talk about, per se what I want to talk about when y'all can tell me what y'all want to hear about? I think that I think I'm all about cutting, like I said, cutting through the alley. Let's cut through the alley instead of going around the 10 blocks and me talking about a whole bunch of shit that y'all do or do not give a fuck about. Exactly. Exactly. We are. Regardless of who doesn't want to peep game to that, we really are. You know what I'm saying? It is us, because at the end of the day, when they gonna kick my door in just like they will kick in anybody else's door. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand it's them against everybody else. So that's just what it is. But look into the Franks, look into the Catholic, that Catholic shit. I'm dealing, I have somebody very close to me who was a Catholic, and I'm having all who's raised Catholic, went to Catholic school, and I'm having all kind of fucking problems with said person because they think they're doing what's right and just. They think they're justified at their actions, and I don't agree. That shit is fucked up and sad at the end of the day. But all that shit is crazy. No bullshit. No bullshit. That's why they trying to, that's why they trying to him up. My bad. That's why they trying to him up. What up, Bo Jack? What up, Bo? We talking about a whole bunch of crazy shit tonight. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I gotta get off my book fair for a hot second. Let me show y'all this. I showed y'all this book before, Out of Arabia, and I went through the table of contents when I was about to do my was about to do Ooh, okay, what? Shoot, you got me. Nah, but that's what it is, Steve. That's what it is at the end of the day. You think the hierarchy it gives a fuck about what comes out of their mouth at the end of the day? When they think they're protected, but when the shit hits the fan, their protection detail is going to leave their asses in the wind at the end of the day. That Vatican is the most evil. That's the evil college to me. Wait till I start dropping on the Inquisition. Number one, there were many. It was like two or three Inquisitions. See, we mainly know about the Spanish Inquisition, but it was like that whole shit went on for like 15 years. Like that whole shit, yeah, and them, subjugating and torturing people. That shit has happened so many times throughout history. The Vatican has tortured people, and that shit's crazy to me. Peace, Bo. I mean, I appreciate that, Bo. Appreciate that, Bo. But let me get to what was all needed, Ron? What was all? Because I want to ask you. You said you study. You practice Catholicism for 40 years. Now we go. Damn. I would love to pick your brain. I would love to pick your brain because you probably know some shit that I need to know at the end of the day. Yeah, everything happens for a reason, but only thing I can say is if the reason they tortured all those people was in the past was for somebody like me to read about it in modern times and want to spit in their face, then yeah, that is the reason. They torture all those people in the past for me today to find out what happened and want to cut their heads off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To me, the Vatican is sick. He he good, Bo. He good, Bo. I was rapping to him before I went live. He probably gonna pop back in the chat. He though he be in and out. He be doing handling his business. He be in and out. But low straight, you know what I'm saying? I hollered at him before I went live. Big pharma is like big pharma is to me. Big pharma is eugenics. That's what it has become. It, you know, wow. You think that like I don't really think that. I hear you. Um, you think they're not sick? You think they're not sick for torturing and subjugating people? I kind of can't agree with that, man. I'm sorry, man. I can't agree with that. What those people did in the Inquisition under the name of God is despicable to me. That shit is despicable. And that's something that yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Ray Cash said. He said he's a pimp in his own mind, but that don't make you a pimp. Just because in your mind, just because, and this is the problem I have with people. The person in my life that was raised under Catholicism. Just because you can justify something in your mind, don't make you morally right. It doesn't. It doesn't. It just doesn't. No, I kind of tend not to agree with that. If they didn't do what they did, we would have closer to a utopia now. If they didn't do what they did during the Spanish Inquisition at that key time period, we wouldn't be in the form of slavery that we are in now. The Catholic Church wouldn't exist. The Vatican wouldn't exist. And I'm sorry, I kind of just tend to believe that this world will be a better place without the Vatican. You will have more ancient texts out in the libraries instead of locked in that under the Vatican. I can't support anything Vatican. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know. Yeah, low in the chat. Low in the chat. Yeah, I just can't. That Catholic shit is you got, and then they only got 20 something books. And it just speaks to what I keep on telling people. These people find a way to control with the least amount, with the least amount. That's how they control us. See, cause if I only show y'all one book and I have 100, that's not fair. That's uh, why isn't, if that is true, if your logic is true, Juan, then the hierarchy you speak of should be the most righteous, fair people on this earth, and they're not. They're the most evil, despicable, disgusting people, the most pedophiles. Oh yeah, the eternal death is illusion, but put the logic that you're trying to put on me on the very hierarchy. That is my suggestion. The the excuses you're making for them, put on them. Wow, I'm doing their job. Hmm, that's interesting. No, no, they're doing their job to oppress people. Their job is to oppress and to subjugate and to rape children. Crazy, right? Daggone the original George Bush, Steve, the daggone Nazi collaborator George Bush. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy, man. So, wow. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But if their program is to rape children and to torture people and to subjugate them, then my program is to, if I catch one of these motherfuckers out touching a child, is to cut their head clean the fuck off. Then that's my programming. If it's okay, see, to me, you in a way you're kind of spitting in the face of free will, because we can't have free will and it's their program to do all this sick shit to people. You know, that shit's crazy. Man. That shit is crazy. Man. That shit's crazy though. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me stay back on point. That Catholic shit got me sidetracked. This book, Out of Arabia, and y'all know how I do. I pretty much I don't show books. I don't really speak about shit unless I'm going to later on come around and speak more on them. Out of Arabia. The author is Warwick Ball. I'm gonna read you some of the chapters in this book. I think it speaks on a lot of key points. One chapter, conquest, conquering the classical river, 1831. Another chapter, Ethiopia's first fruit, 1793. The River Saints, 1718 to 1752. Next chapter, The Guru's Army, 1499. Buddha on the Silk Road, 300 BC to 800 AD. I can't wait to read that chapter. Next chapter, Alexander at the Outer Ocean, 327 BC. I think I just want to throw that shit out there to anybody who caught it. Those are some very key time periods in text. Appreciate that, Queen. Appreciate that. You know, I just try to give out what, like, I know might really help people. And like I said, I'm all about cutting through that alley. If I had to read 300 books. I had to read, say, 300 books to get the understanding that I have. If you only have to read 50, I think that's me doing what I'm supposed to be doing at the end of the day. I also want to show y'all this. This is another one I picked up. The Original Black Elites. I haven't even cracked this one yet, but I'm pretty sure it goes into a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? It goes into a lot of shit. And then another book, I just got this because I had another version of it, but I had to go get the regular version. This is Souls. Is it Souls of Black People? This is the Souls of Black Folk. Oh, no doubt, Queen, no doubt. This is a bad book for real, for real. This is a badass book. And I said the author is Warwick Ball. He's talking about the Phoenicians and basically the European conquest and what they took credit for, and what they took credit for, which at the end of the day, if you use common sense, you kind of like how could they take credit for something that was already discovered? Even him in the first chapter of the book, he says basically Columbus ain't discovered shit. You know, he says it's more of a Asiatic, but we gotta really find out what they mean by you. You really gotta find out what they mean by the terms they use, cause 9 times out of 10, the notions that I might have had when I went and actually looked it up, it wasn't. I was wrong. Not to say I was 100% wrong, but the conceptions that you might have when you hear these terms and then you actually go even use a wiki to get started, you find out that they in how many ways they have been misleading us. For real. For real, for real, for real, for real. Okay, I'm just off my Black History shit right now. But this book is a monster. Look how thick this joint is. And this is the African American experience. And it's like I said, this is a thick ass book. So between that book and the Black Elites book, that's a lot of research. And, that's a lot of people that I'm gonna have to be looking up. But we have to do this. The reason I do what I do is because I'm good at it. I can do it fast. So, in a way, if I can go through all these books and pick out some of the real powerful ones, and like I said, if you can read 50 books instead of the 300 that I had to read, I'm cool with that. I'd rather read 1,000 books to give you 30 books to read. Bam, right to the point. Bam, bam, right to the point. So we can cut through all this bullshit. We just need to cut through the bullshit. We just do. We just do. We just need to cut through the bullshit and fuck it. Do what we can do. We gotta do what we can do to cut through the bullshit. You know. Let me try to say semi on point to the title, and let me just drop a couple more things about this Jezebel shit, because we can get back into it later once I get into the Adam and Eve shit, which is like fucking crazy to me, but well, I'm these are the basically my reading list. I'm just, to answer your question, Bo, this is just my reading list. These are the books that I read. These are the books that I take notes out. These are the books that I'm using to that are going to be sourced in my literature once I can. I got a fiction book done pretty much. I just have to get it published, but once I start really, really working on my historical works, these are going to be a lot of the books that are going to be sourced in my historical works. I'm just pretty much just giving, I'm just giving them out as I come across them, because I think the information is important for us now. You know what I'm saying? No, you could. Ain't no bad. Ain't no bad. That was an excellent question, actually. You know what I'm saying? Excellent question, actually. Like, but I was thinking of doing something along the lines of to where, like, if certain people, if certain people want me to, want to give me a topic and tell me how many books, how many sources they want, I can actually take the topic, kind of research it, and come back with the information. I was thinking about doing something like that because I'm just good at it. It's natural to me. So if somebody wants to use me as a primary, secondary source in a way, and I can give me a topic, and I can come back. Oh, I'm researching my current topics now was, of course, genetics, Sumerian, Sumerian mythology, Egyptian mythology, really all cosmetology. I'm into all of that. I'm into all of that. Of course, the slavery aspect because it comes into play in many different cultures. I study the museums real hard because once you get into primary source documentation, you need to know exactly what museum it's in and everything. Um, I pretty much to answer to kind of clarify the question, bro. I research any aspect that may possibly lead us to freedom. Either if it's freeing your mind, or if it's totally freeing us from the system, or if it's yeah. I study a lot of different things. So, but with the end result of freedom, I want freedom for not only for myself, whoever wants it. I truly want, in need, freedom. I do. And I don't feel like in the society it's completely being afforded to us. Just because I can go out and if I sell out enough people, I can go out and got, not to say that everybody. Oh shit! What's the question? Oh, nigga. Man, black people from everywhere. At the end of the day, you know, black people. I had to I had to fully read it. Black people are from everywhere, and this is you know just from what my studies have led me to, just from what my research has led me. The original police. You mean? Well, I mean black people, niggas, black people, whatever. The original people from France were black people. I mean, how about this? You asked me a question, and I think that black people were everywhere. Exactly, Queen. Exactly. Nagas. Nagas. But I think oh, if you mean niggas is American fabrication. They ain't come from Africa. Uh, if you talking about the niggas that we know, they were engineered in America, made in America, made in America. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Every person of any color, not just African descent, not just every person of any color from anywhere else has more common sense than the average nigga. I'm sorry. That is an American engineered concept of being a nigga and being proud in the way that these niggas are proud of being niggas. You know. Appreciate that, bro. You know, that's what I think. You know, me and Lo earlier was saying that it's probably a lie. Exactly. 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 So it just puts a spin on American history that they don't want. Oh shit! Like, dude, I don't even know what to think of that. You lie, you a lie like a bow. That's deep that you brought up bow because that's what this Jezebel shit was really all about at the end of the day. This is Jezebel shit was she was the Jezebel is classified the most evil woman in biblical history because she was into Baal worship. She just worshiped another god than the biblical perspective. So she was classified evil, you know. I think that's it's quite telling. Anybody who thinks different than society or these religions is deemed evil or a heathen or a savage, and I think that's bullshit. You know, I think that to a certain extent, that's what has been done to the black race in America. Just because we're different, we're savages or we're heathens. I think that's bullshit. I just think that's bullshit. Let me drop a couple. Let me drop a couple. Let me try to say a point about the title and drop a couple more things. The Jezebel story is 900 BC. The Jezebel story is dated to 900 BC. That's what that's what actual science says. Like I said, she was claimed to be the most evil woman in the biblical account because she worshipped a different deity than the Hebrews or whoever at the time. There's a we was going to talk about an artifact that's in the British Museum. Artifact that's in the British Museum is the Sidon Storm God. This artifact is dated to 1750 BC. If you look up the Sidon Storm God artifact in the British Museum, you can see what it looks like. In 1750 BC. So this artifact predates the actual story of Jezebel. So in 1750, people felt comfortable enough to make artifacts of their deity, and by 900, 800, 700, it was condemned as heresy. Now I got my little notepad. I am cheating. I can't take complete credit, bro. I got my little. I did my notes. I do my. I try to do my notes. Without the N. I mean, without the E. Without the E. Cosmic. SIDON Storm God artifact. No problem. No problem. Like I said, okay, that's the beginning. Some key. I just think this is like fucking crazy, but see, it's probably. I'm gonna be honest. I have to get further into that artifact. I'm just gonna be honest. A lot of stuff I get to a certain point, and then I might need other resources to go deeper into them, or I just get tired or whatever. But eh, um, but most likely, if you learn about said storm god, you will see connections. I'll say that. I'm willing to go on a limb that far to where once you study this storm god, you more than likely are going to find comparisons to the flood or a ark or something linking to the so-called biblical account of a flood. I'm willing to say that. Right? But some of the Jezebel name has been dragged through the mud so much that two of the things that the name is associated with, there was a lingerie line, with that bear the name Jezebel, and I think the most one of the most powerful things that I've come across actually is that a World War II missile was named the Jezebel missile. I think that shit is like, when I get into World War II, that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. That shit is some wild shit. Like I said, when you study these wars and you find out some of the more true motivations for wars, it's gonna it really blows your mind, because it's just like, wow. It's like you said, Queen. It's like, wow. It's like y'all really sacrificed millions of people because you didn't want a book to come out, or you exterminated millions of people because they believed contradictory to what you believe. That shit is crazy. Like ISIS, just like them, and what they doing? They going around. They going around. Yeah, that is definitely a lot to look into, Bo. It is definitely a lot to look into. But ISIS is going around destroying all the monuments that can be destroyed. And I'm just going to say they raiding and looting shit. That's what they're really doing. They're trying to get rid of all the ancient texts, anything on the walls, anything that can be used to give you the truth. And sad to say, I tell you, Steve, I'm gonna tell you what I really think about the Holocaust. Number one, I don't think the numbers. These people lie about numbers. They say men lie. They say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. I say men numbers don't lie unless you cook the books, and that's what I think these people did. Damn, Holocaust. It wasn't. It wasn't. You know, and my second real point about the Holocaust is when you look into it, I would say on some level it did happen. Jewish people were killed, but who ordered that death? I think it was the Jewish hierarchy. Because if you look back in history, Israel didn't become Israel until 1974. Without the Holocaust, so called Jewish people, or whatever you want to call them, they wouldn't have had the money nor power to be in the position that they are in now, especially in Hollywood, without that Holocaust. So I'm willing to say that I feel like the Holocaust was perpetrated by the Jewish hierarchy against his own people. You know, and that's some sick shit. But exactly, it was. It was an inside job. Hitler, in a way, like I said about these people, they're willing to audition to be these people's puppies. And that's what I see Hitler as. Hitler, the whole time, was auditioning as the big bad man to be these people's puppies. And what he got from it is most likely he didn't die when history said he dies. He died. He his genetics was used to possibly guarantee his reincarnation. I think that was his gift. Yes, he died in Argentina. That's what that's what that yes, Steve. That seems to be what the evidence would dictate, along with Himmler, because he ain't die. Motherfuckers say they killed him 4 or 5 times, and no, none of these motherfuckers. Himmler was still fucking writing checks fucking years after his death. Okay. You know, that's just crazy. But yeah, you know, yeah, I pretty much feel like they orchestrated the whole thing, the Jewish hierarchy. Because, like I said, these people have no problem sacrificing their own for money and power at the end of the day. Not to even mention all of the barrel bond scams and forgery scams that the Jewish and the Jewish, the Chinese, the German, and the American hierarchy were into. And if you want a good source to look into that, that is my favorite author, Gerald Clark. I mean, not Gerald Clark. Joseph P. Farrell. He has this book called Babylon's Banksters. It's two different part one and part two to that. The part two is Venice, when he's talking about Venice and all the fuckery that went down in Venice. You know, Babylon Spakesters is a good place to start if you want to look into some of the forgery and some of the commerce fraud that these people are into. Yep. The more you look into it, the shit just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, bro. For sure. Yep. Yep, Steve. They understand the power of pity. You know, just like the just like your local common. You know, just like your local common on the street. They'll tell you anything. They'll tell you, oh, my aunt, I got a sick grandma. If they think that it can get you out of what, if they can get what they want out of you, and that's what they did, you know. And it's, I never thought I would. I didn't think I would be saying, you know, even talking about this early, because it's. I think it was a, you know, I previously had thought that it was a fucking huge statement, but y'all made me comfortable to say it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they the Holocaust is definitely not what they say it is, along with, you know, American slavery isn't what they say it was. You know, it's just not. You know, it's just really not. They the victors write history. So the people in power, when the last bullet is shot, pretty much dictates what history is going to say. Damn, I didn't even know that shit. Damn, Steve, I didn't even know that shit. Most of our animal cruelty laws in this country were written by Hitler. Damn. And hearing you say that makes a lot of sense to me, because, you know, I always wondered why. Exactly. They know the truth and don't care. Just like half of this, the dumb public that that we have to sift through who we can unite with and who we can't, and who we should and who we should. But I've always wondered about the animal cruelty laws, in especially in this country. They treat animals better than they treat human beings. You know, I remember when Gitmo, you know, when all that Gitmo shit was going on, and I was like, it's okay to torture people because the government says it's okay, but people are getting fucking thrown in jail for abusing a dog, you know. And I don't think any animal or anything should be abused and tortured, but it's a difference between a dog and a man. I will say that, for real. I'm sorry. Yeah, Amazon is the spot. Amazon is the spot, and I'm gonna show y'all this because I wanted this book for a long ass time. This book, Babylon. If you were into like reading this book, reading this book will give you some understanding. If you're into just biblical understanding, the biblical account, read this book, Babylon, right here. And another reason I do what I do is because if I can get certain people to read certain books first before they read other books, these Jews, if I, yeah, look into that Babylon book if you want to understand the biblical account, because he goes through every different time period, goes through Sumer, one, two, all of that. Anybody who's ever tried to look into Babylon will understand what I'm saying about one, two. You know what I'm saying? The Jews have been kicked out of over 100 countries through history for killing Gentile children and draining their blood. And that's what I don't understand. These people are into some real fucking sorcery, but then they want to. I just don't get it personally. I don't get why it's okay for certain people yeah, this book is it, man. Like I said, I'll show it again. This book is a bad. This book, y'all. Anybody who's into shit, this book right here. This book is a must. You can tell by the cover, like I said about the imagery. That's like the hanging gardens and the Ishtar gates. That's the top of that is a image from the Ishtar gates. But this book is, whew, this book is official. Oh yeah, they are. They are. It's going to go. First, it's going to go. We got some time. Queen, you 100% right. But as of right now, we got some time because at first, you gotta understand how they do shit, and at first, the books are going to be extremely expensive. Like a lot of books that I'm into trying to track down now. Yeah, so they can change and fuck up the text and put all kind of imperfections in it or whatever. That's why I don't particularly fuck with the Kindle or none of that shit. I don't fuck with that shit. I need the book. I need the book. And they can manipulate anything they want to a certain extent, but this is the thing that I'm understand. I kind of understand. They like flaunting it. They know a lot of people are not going to read the books like we are. They the books have been a weapon of mass destruction against the public. Hebrew is Greek is like 1500. Yes, yes, and I want that. I want that book. I want that book. Yep, yep. Or you're gonna have to go to another country. Yep. Or you're gonna have to go to another country. Like me, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Like me, I want to go to Prague because I'm pretty sure it's a couple of bookstores or it's a couple of places you can go buy books. They got some shit right now. You know, you gotta go to Italy. Italy is kind of they're fighting back, even though they had the Vatican, right there, but they're fighting with information. So you're either going to have to get them online, you're going to have to um, go to another country who has chosen to fight back with information, or you're gonna have a fucking plug. You know, you're gonna have to go straight foreign book dealer, and you're gonna have that ink. Cause a lot of them motherfuckers, they ain't making no moves over 3Gs a book. You know what I'm saying? Just look into the ninth gate, and they dropped the science on the book dealing game. How much those book collectors were paying for their books and shit. Shit's crazy. You know, and yeah, Hebrew is Greek. I want that book so bad, but like, yeah, you right. You said it went down since I was looking at it, because the last time I looked it up, that bitch was like 14, 1500. I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn. Even the books that I want on, even the books that I want on, that have all the tablets in it, it's like $100. So, but when I look at a book like Hebrew is Greek, which is over $1,000, I don't see, oh, that book's too much. I see, I got to read that. Cause if that shit is $1,000 fucking, that means there's some shit in it that not only I need to know, everybody need to know. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the difference between me and other people. If I had the $1,000, 14 or $1,000 to spend on that book, I would have it, and I would do a fucking live stream on that bitch. Fuck that shit, bro. Right. You'll never know. You'll never know. And shout out, Steve. And you right. Consciousness is definitely alive, and it feels good. Like I said, like 10 years, like 7 years of feeling like a fucking alien. That's why I love this shit. That's why I love this shit. That's why I'm always gonna come on this joint and drop shit, because it's been so long of me not having anybody to fucking talk to about none of this shit. So it feels good not only to be able to talk to y'all about it, to have y'all actually give input. That's what I would say I'm the proudest of about my live streams. I actually get input. Like, shout out to everybody in the chat, cuz y'all make the study halls proper. Without me, man, I tell you half of the shit that I do, and shit's real. But that's what it is, man. You know, Steve, to talk about your point, Steve. That's what it is. And I think it goes back to the point I was trying to make, that this shit, if you take yourself, I think that's what's wrong with the hierarchy. They take themselves so fucking serious. It's almost asinine. If you take yourself so seriously, you're either gonna go crazy or become oppressive. You know, we have to find ways to let off steam. We have to find ways to not let this shit break us at the end of the day, because that's what it is intended to do. It's intended to make us say retarded shit like, uh, we can't win and there's going to be bloodshed. Eh, there's always been bloodshed, and I do think we can win. You know, that's just my thing. I appreciate it, Bo. Appreciate it, Bo. You know, I I just want to do my best. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to, like I said, I can't. Well, not that I can't, but I have chosen not to become a teacher in the in the how society should think I should be a teacher. So I'm just happy that people understand what I'm saying. Like I said, after years of being treated like an alien, it's rather refreshing and reassuring to, actually have people know what I'm talking about. At the very least, you know what I'm saying? Even if nobody agreed with me, you know, y'all at least know what I'm talking about. Y'all at least have done the research to understand at least kind of what I'm talking about, and that's just a testament to all y'all genetics, man. And I say it. Yeah, we have to, but just because see that layman is almost like they have turned it into a derogatory term, and it shouldn't be. Just because you see, they have propped up this intellectual bullshit. And at the end of the day, like I said, I know 13-year-olds that will give grown folks the business, and with common street language. You shouldn't have to talk like a fucking Harvard professor to be heard. And that's just crazy to me. I'm glad that y'all said that, because that's always been my thing. Because like, all y'all understand, reading some of these books and shit is not easy. Some of these books and some of this shit I have to read several times, because this shit is made confusing on purpose. So I'm just happy that I'm apparently doing an okay job to where I can read some of this horse shit and turn it into and make it make sense. At the end of the day, I'm just glad I make sense. Appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I appreciate. I hear you, Steve. Most people are just defeated. Man, I appreciate y'all, Steve. I appreciate y'all, man. At the end of the day, because like I said, y'all make it look. I was supposed to be talking about Jezebel, and we ended up talking about a whole bunch of other shit, and I ain't even mad because, like I said, the chat makes my live streams popping, because we just talk about whatever, and that shit that's what was needed, like I said, which why should I let my ego control where it's like, no, we're talking about Jezebel today. No, well, we're gonna talk about what I can talk about, and that's just what it is, We're gonna talk about what's important to us. You know what I'm saying? Freedom, and that's what should be important to us. Freedom, not a thimble, not a glass. We want the whole lake of freedom. And it's just sad that other people don't. It's really sad that other people don't. Really fucked up and sad. Let me see. I'm about to get off. I'm about to get off, y'all. I'm gonna try to do. What day is it? I'm gonna try to do a joint this week. I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna wait a week to go live again. I'm gonna try to do another joint this week. But let me see if there's anything else. Look at my books. Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's cool. And I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna take it totally. I can't. I'm not gonna take it totally 100% credit for it. But like the first time. See, now I kind of got the chat set up over here. A suggestion. Peace Queen. Peace Queen. A suggestion of from Black Gunner is I have the chat on my tablet right here. That way I can kind of talk and I don't necessarily gotta keep on doing like this. But it kind of just happened that way because you know my chat rooms are are official. You know what I'm saying? It's like the chat makes my life like it just happened that way to answer your question. Like not even to answer your question, but just like it just happened that way. It happened that way, and I'm glad it did. I'm just gonna say it happened that way where it was just like boom, 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 boom. I reacted to the chat, but definitely I think that's how shit should be. Like shout out the same dude. I know I ain't see him chime in. And Phil, yes, yes, Steve, yes, exactly. Appreciate that, Bo. Appreciate that most definitely. Shout out the same dude. Same dude had coined my live streams the study hall, and that's how I want to keep them rocking. I want this shit to be like the study hall to where, like I said, if it's something, a topic that I might know, did you just want to hear what I have to think about it? Why not? Why wouldn't I let you know what I think about something? Why not? But I appreciate y'all. Another great live stream. Thanks to my chat. I appreciate y'all. We gonna try to keep it going. We just gonna keep it going. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. That was a nice joint. That was a nice joint. I ain't stay on topic. Like I said, we talked about it. We always talk about a lot. We always cover up a lot. Cover a lot. Peace, Steve. Peace to Pound. Let me go. I know Cosmic Queen already left. Peace, Bo. Appreciate that, Bo. Shout out, Bo. Shout out, Steve Burton. Shout out, Cosmic Queen. No, I think she already popped out. Nerd. Peace, nerd. Shout out, nerd. Trying to see. Yes, the free jacks. You know how we rock with the low lives, man. Appreciate you, bro, man. Appreciate that. I think that's everybody. Oh, Juan. Shout out Juan. Shout out Melo Freak. I think that's blessings, everyone. Juan, Low Freak, Steve, Infinite Amp. Shout out Infinite Amp. I think that's pretty much everybody. Peace, everybody. Optimus Prime with the scar on his face. No bull. We gonna go deeper into that the next time because that shit is that all that Transformer shit is ill. Appreciate y'all. Nice live. This is Phoenix Bars, the Paradigm Killer, aka the real motherfucking Anubis. Peace.